can do this. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I'm making content. Yes, I'm making content. Yes, that's looking good enough. All of this is looking good enough. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I am a wealthy man. Yes, I am a wealthy man. Yes, I am a wealthy man. Yes, I'm making content. Yes, I am making content. Yes. Putting my sleeves inside of my suit. Yeah. These are all of the details that do matter. It's meant to look like that, right? It's fine. We can do that. We can absolutely do that. I know that. Yeah. Now I gotta do some cleaning here at one point. But that's good enough for now. We will do some cleaning of the material. For sure, but for now, content, and then we go out and sell. That's what we want to be doing today, and then tomorrow all day, just keep slamming, cranking the AI systems tonight as well. But I'm just gonna go move today for a little bit, man. Move. Okay, and now content. Alright, so we've done that, and I'm communicating with my brother over the weekend, yahoo, making the first payment with my own hard-earned money, yahoo, and getting the medicinal products all ready and paying for it in the way that I really need, hey. Taking care of my money situation, everything is nice and clean in my life, everything is nice and clean, I'm making the content. I am making the content, and we're breaking through to the things that we need to do here in this lifetime. Decoding human behavior. Overcoming patterns. What is standing in the way? You yourself standing in the way. Parental expectations - blueprint. Vehicles - deepest fear. Constructing new vehicles. Conflicts between what they want and how they want to feel. What he does or how he feels. Rules. Vehicle. Pain that he believes he will never get to where he wants to be. Identity. I am always utilizing the identity for reinforcement for my clients. So I'm going to tell them, Kevin, for you to be the person that you truly want to be, here is what you would need to take a look at. For you, you are the person that you want to be, but you haven't been behaving like that. How come? Is that in alignment with who you really are, or is that rather in alignment with the person how you don't want to be? And what is going to happen if you continue right now from this decision point into the future of the path of where you don't want to end up, who you don't want to be, the things that you don't want to do? If you keep doing the things that you don't want to do, you will get to the life of who you want to be. That's actually a good quote. All right. If you keep doing the things that you don't want to do, if they are right, you will get to who you want to be. Period. Hey, hey, ya, ho, 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 ya ho ya ho hey. Hey ya hey me ya ho me ya ya ho me ya ho hey. Hey ya ya ho me ya ho hey. Hey ya me ya ho ya hey. Hey ya ho ya ho ya ho ya. Hey ya hey ya ho ya hey. Hey ya ho ya hey ya ya ho hey. Hey ya me ya ho hey ya ho him. Hey ya ho me ya ho me ya ho hey. Hey ja ho. Ich bin ein Schwunggeselle, ja ho, ja hey, ja ho, ja hey. Hey ja 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 yeah, let's take a look, let's take a look at the financials. At the financials, taking care of all the things that I want to do. Parental expectations. So parental expectations are formed by our parents needing us to be a certain way, or rather we understood that we had to be a certain way to be the way that our parents wanted us to be, because there's a crucial breaking point in the development of a child hey ya ya hey ya ya hey ya ho hum. Hey ya 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 ho ho hey ya ho hey ya ho hey. Hey ya ho hum. Hey ya yo ho hey ya ho hey. Hey ya ho I'm taking care of the financials. Hey ya ya hum. Hey ya 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 hum. Now we are going back into the content. Into the content. I am so content filming myself. Yahweh. Hey ya ya. Negative feelings due to energy imbalances and conflicts that keep him from having and feeling his needs met. Inner conflicts, very interesting topic. Now, many of us have had some inner conflicts in our lifetime, once upon a time, where we felt that what we actually want, our natural proclivity or inclination in that way, does not match with how we actually need to be. And that brings us back to the core wound that that all of us have experienced in our past. And this is the following. When we grew up, we were unconditionally loved. Everything was being provided for us because our parents sensed that we as a baby were totally vulnerable and helpless, and we needed care, and we were just a helpless toddler needing nurturing for us to grow. And then at some point we developed, and our cognitive capacities developed to a point where then our parents sensed that now is the time that they can talk to us and educate us about the rules of the family and about the rules of society. That was a crucial breaking point. Now it's a necessary breaking point in each of our development, but it was traumatic nonetheless. Although our parents didn't do anything wrong, it will be traumatic for every child, and this is what we need to be going through. So, before we needed love, and we've gotten it as much as we needed from our parents. Then they decided that now is the right time to teach the child the rules of the family and the rules of society. And now we had to be a certain way in order to earn that love of our parents. Now there were conditions placed upon our behavior and our way of being for us to earn either the love directly or the love equivalent, what we have linked up in our minds equivalents, equates or leads us to getting this love that we craved. And so the question now is, how do we get rid of that? Well, the beauty in all of that is that life works in this way. We are getting on this trajectory. We are being brought onto this trajectory of development. We are being brought onto this trajectory of development because there's a reason for that. With that, we find our purpose in life. With that, we find our sense of meaning, of who we are, of what we can contribute to society in this way. We find what we can contribute to society in this way. And in this way, we can find what we can contribute to society. And it is very important for us to have rules and values, and these values are built. And I'm a big proponent, I am a huge proponent of utilizing all of the resources that we have, of good resource management and good resource allocation, because when you start utilizing all of the resources that you have inside of you, you're going to be a great leader because you can help others do the same. And the reason why many people are messed up because they look to get from the outside. They don't utilize everything that they have inside of them and within reach in terms of help, in terms of connection. And there's so much help that you can request, but you gotta request it. It takes effort. It takes effort to maintain these relationships. It all takes energy. And you want to spend this energy wisely that you are being given every day, that you are taking in from animals and plants and not from industrial foods, right? Predominantly and preferably. But so this is how we want to spend our energy wisely, in a wise way, in the right way for us and for other people, so that our energies are actually productive, meaning they're producing something for ourselves and for other people, with a focus of our energies producing for other people, and then they come back to us in terms of exchange. Because if everybody is productive and produces, then we will have more and more abundance as the years and decades go by. So, and the question with all of that is, how do you utilize your identity? Now there's a difference between deciding on a course of action that you're going to take and deciding on an identity of being, of who you want to be. That's very different. When you decide on an identity of being, the downfall to that might be that you get trapped and stuck in mental concepts of who you want to be. Although deciding who you want to be, your identity, is crucially important. That's why I recommend the following solution to bridge these two. My solution that I suggest here is that you make yourself personalized incantations, or you come join our program where we make that for you. Personalized incantations, or you join our program so we make them for you with a music track underneath it, with a music track underlying it all, so that you are putting on, think of it like that. Have you ever, think of it like that. When you were a teenager, did you have braces? Okay, if the answer is no, do you know any teenagers who do? Surely you do. So what happens is, as you develop, sometimes things get out of order. if you develop, sometimes things go out of order. You probably have recognized it in your own life. And so hence we put on braces for over time. Utilize those forces to over time put things into the right place. In life it is just the same. And so if you put incantations on and let this into your mind, you're going to put braces onto your thoughts, onto your train of thoughts, so that it steamrolls you towards the future that you really want to be. Because in my humble opinion, what I've seen over the years, the work that I've done with people, is a lot of people underestimate the amount of repetition that it really takes to succeed. So we need repetition to succeed. We need repetition of action to succeed. And we also need repetition of experience of failure for us to get the lesson. It's very hard for us to get the lesson when it happens on the first time. That's why it's important to listen to other people about their experiences. You know, when I was young and I was in college, I used to take these long walks where I would listen to business owners basically talking through their business mistakes. And it was hugely valuable for me because I had a reference point of like, okay, I tend to remember stories incredibly well. That's one of the things that I utilize and harness, and that I see as a talent and as a resource within myself, and that I employ a lot in the work that I do. Because all of us have different talents, and that happens to be one of mine. So I'm maximizing that, so I'm utilizing that. So I'm remembering all of these stories. I'm remembering all of these stories, and it has built a database, a reference base of connection points of what I've already heard other people have made mistakes on. So that when I was in a similar position, I could already recognize the pattern because I've seen somebody else has made this mistake before. But usually it is hard for us to actually see the pattern before we have seen a pattern, before we have seen repetition of that. That's why I believe most people underestimate how much repetition it really takes. And so the question is, how active are you every day? Are you doing the best that you can to shift things into place? And so if so, I would say that there are many times in your life while you're brushing your teeth, while you're in your shower, when I'm going for a walk, instead of listening to more information and more podcasts, maybe that's on the plate for you, but I would rather say that now in 2025, when you have been listening to podcasts already for the last 2 or 3 or sometimes 5 or 8 years, that you have all of the knowledge stored there. And this is great. See, in previous times, the problem was that we didn't have the knowledge, we didn't have the information. That's why a lot of seminars were born, basically teaching people the information about how life works and success in life. And now that I'm embarking on a very similar journey, I identified that as the times have shifted and as the years have progressed, and as the internet and information, the way it is delivered and developed, has proceeded, that a lot of people don't really need more information. They don't need more information on how to succeed. You know exactly what it is. You can follow some very basic, well-known Instagram pages with motivational quotes, and they tell you exactly what you need to be doing and the mindset that you should be having. What's really important is 2 things, in my opinion. Number 1, the personalization, so that you know what kind of advice to take in at what time. And then secondly, not only the knowledge of what to do at the right time, but also how to do it, and the what ifs. Not the how-tos. The how-tos are there, but what if? That's where I come in. This is how I'm positioning myself as an online educator, as a teacher, and as a coach, to help people with the what ifs, because all of us, we know what to do, but then sometimes things seem to be getting in the way. And what are they? With acute psychological precision, we will be able to pinpoint. And you can read up on me, you can Google me, even though my social channels are not that big yet. What people say about me is significant. So you can check that out on my LinkedIn reviews. I would encourage you to, on my Google and LinkedIn reviews, I would encourage you to do that and not judge it just by the numbers. Because, making content, explaining that on video is an entirely different skill set than helping somebody in a conversation, as you may see, as you may know yourself when you've tried making content, making videos yourself. So I'd encourage you to, if that feels right, to talk to me directly and see the value that it can bring for you, because the value in this work truly lies in you saving time. Because oftentimes we go down a road, and in life we are always on a road, we are always moving. We are on the flow of life whether we know it or not. You can only lay in bed for so long. At some point you will have to get up and defecate or take in some nutrition. So like we are compelled. We need to take action at some point. Now do you take very low leverage, very low level, just maintenance kind of effort, meaning defecating and eating, right? Or do you take some more action on top of that to actually produce things for other people that may lead to an abundance of goodwill and finances, which oftentimes equate of abundance of goodwill, reputation, and finances, which oftentimes relate to each other, which oftentimes correlate to each other, which oftentimes correlate to each other. And so this is what we want to understand. How do we make it so that all of our energies are flowing into the right actions, interactions, without us being blocked in what we're doing? And this is exactly where my work comes in, of identifying the what ifs. In my opinion, all of us have certain capacities. We have certain specializations. And I've specialized over the last 10 years with more than 10,000 hours of alone time. When people go to caves and they meditate. Now, I've not been in a cave, but I've meditated, and I have really, really looked inside of myself and spent thousands of hours with people figuring out what's going on inside of them, right? So that I really do understand what are these inner phenomena. And if you happen to be a person, I'm talking usually to business owners, because I tend to understand their reality better than other people, to business owners, because I tend to understand their reality and their pressures and what they're going through and their general underlying mentality better than other people. If you are in this position and you have been very busy, right, you might find benefits in my work of actually going through these inner processes and clearing out everything that is not in alignment. Because there are things that take your energy. When you don't address certain things, they take your energy. And usually we only address the things that we feel competent in solving. You may have seen this in your business as well, where there's one problem, like hiring a key person for the first time, or in the very beginning of your business was doing your taxes for the first time. It's like in the beginning, when you don't know how to solve a problem, it's hard and it takes a lot of energy. And so you have to set the energy aside to take this on for the first time. And so in the same way as when you're for the first time confronting certain patterns, certain issues inside of yourself, it may feel like an overwhelming task because you don't know how to solve this problem. You don't know how to assess how much energy, time, and effort is going to be required for the outcome, and you also may not know whether it's worth it to you, right? It's very easy to also neglect these inner phenomena, but I think, as of now, most very, very high-level entrepreneurs understand that the invisible cannot be neglected. It takes ideas and creativity for innovation. It takes strength and personal standards for leadership. All of that is invisible. You can't catch it. You can't see it. But you do catch it very easily when you see the results and the manifestations of that in a person's life. And so that's what I'm helping people with, right? To see how can we engineer the flow of your energy in a way that no energy is being wasted or drawn away by things that are affecting you. By things that are affecting you within yourself, emotionally, or with other people that are taking your energy. Think of it like that. You as a business owner, you have a whole lot of expenses and probably also personal expenses too. And now as software gets more and more advanced, you probably have a lot of subscription services running. Now, I remember a time in my own life, and I'm actually not very proud to share this, but I had a Shutterstock subscription that was costing $250 per month. Quite expensive in any kind of standard for just some stock images. Quite expensive to say, just for some stock images. Now, I wanted to be a creator, which I am now, but back then I was struggling. I could not keep the consistency. And I did not keep the consistency, really, because my energy was drawn away by other things. That's exactly the lesson that I've been pulling from myself and now sharing that. And so it was taking energy from me, even I wasn't using it, even I wasn't confronting it, right? Because there was this lingering decision of like, well, at least I have some skin in the game still, in the social media content creation game, when I'm at least paying the subscription. Now, how does this relate to you? And thank you for listening. Now, how does this relate to you? And thank you for listening to the story. It relates to you in the following way. When you have energies, or when you have certain conflicts inside of you that are taking your energy, then you will have less energy for the things that you actually need to put your energy in. And when you have ever had kind of days where things were just flowing, where things were easy, where you had a lot of energy in yourself, then you know how much faster things can get done, especially with us knowledge workers, right? When you are, when you run a business, you own a business, yes, you will still be in the weeds. Sometimes you will still work with your hands, depending on how the day-to-day looks like for you. Certainly, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think that's noble. If the CEO can also take the broom and tell everybody, it's like, look, let me show you how this can get done in 11 minutes. Let me show you how we can clean this place in 11 minutes. Right? It's like, this is 11 minutes of very high leverage effort, because you set the standard for everybody else, and they're like, oh, he does all of these things and he cleans and I'm like, okay, right, exactly. And so, demonstration. So the idea with all of that is that we find the leaks in your energy, and we really take a look at that from a psychological perspective, because I trust you to make the decision for your business in the best possible way. I'm not here to pretend to be a business consultant when this is the first business that I'm actually building, that I'm actually successfully building, right? So I'm not here to be pretending that I'm some business consultant when this is the first business that I'm successfully building. You may bounce some ideas around psychology and marketing and strategic decision making, all of that we can do. But it's like, my work's like really more about you as the person, right? Running that. You as the person showing up and running that business, right? So that things in your life are nice and clean, they're taken care of, you have good habits in place and you actually do them, and you have the mentality. And the clarity for that. So what's going to be the value in that for you? So what is going to be the value in that for you? First of all, decision making. If there is some major decision that is on the table for you, then you probably benefit from speaking that out to me. Number one, you can speak that out with anybody and it would help you. If it's really a high leverage decision, then it makes sense to also get feedback from multiple people. But I'm also great at pulling out information that is relevant for you, basically extracting and then presenting it to you visually of what are your principles for decision making, what are your priorities, and like what do you base your decision making on, what's really important to you, what matters to you, what influences your decision. And once you hear that back from me of extracting that, then we can put that into writing if that works for you. I verbally we'll make it work so that you get the best results based on your learning style, based on how your brain processes information. We will take this, play this by ear, see what kind of person you are. I can't gauge this right now since we haven't met personally yet. But thank you for listening and staying here. So the question really is how you as a person can find a way to engineer yourself in a way that you really do the things that you want to be doing, and for consolidation as well. A lot of business owners, especially people who have had successful businesses before, but they're at a point right now where they say, okay, now I see the future, now I see where we're heading, now I see AI and everything that's coming, now let me commit, because this is the calling of this time, to be committed and to actually stay with one thing and one thing only and make this big and make this successful, later on sell it, or just have it as the business asset that will feed you for the future. So this is what I'm helping people do. And as you look up upon me, I haven't grown a successful business myself apart from this one that I'm currently building. I haven't grown a successful business in the past apart from this one that I'm currently building. I've tried a lot of things. I've dipped my finger. I've dipped my feet into a lot. I was very active. I was very active for the last years. But I'm not here to pretend to be your business consultant of like how to grow a company, how to hire the key employees. Like, that's not my specialty. That's not what we're going to be talking about. What I will talk to you about is like how you show up as a person, right? What are the things that are taking your energy inside of you away so that you have more energy? And more energy usually equates to more money in a real way. Like, think about that. When you see a salesperson, and you probably are the best salesperson in your company negotiating not the one-on-one deals with the clients, maybe sometimes you do that also, but usually you are negotiating deals with vendors, with key employees. It's negotiation, it's influence, it's sales, right? 100%. And so as you are progressing in these high leverage, high stakes negotiations and sales conversations, influence conversations, it's very important how you show up, and it's very important, and that's the point that I'm making, how much energy you have. Because it's not only how much time do you give to something, but also how much effort, how much presence, how much energy can you give to each interaction. That determines the quality of the output. And so this is very important. And so how do we do that? Now, first of all, we can take a look at all of these physical things that give you energy, like sleep, nutrition, habits. What do you do at what time of the day? We can also reflect upon that, for me to be there to talk things out with you and to hear that. Because no matter how busy you are, if you spend an hour a week with me talking through these things, you will see massive improvements over time because you're optimizing yourself and your energy output. That's a very high leverage thing to do, even though you think there's no real use for it. It's really like, I happen to live here in Peru, in the Andes of Peru. I love it. I have a homestay here. I grow my own food. It's all in progress, but we're getting there. So in a few years I'll have beautiful orchard with all kinds of plants and medicinal plants and vegetables. The point being, here in Peru, the roads are oftentimes, especially in the countryside, not ideal. And so think of it as actually fixing the road, right? You spend a tremendous amount of energy, and probably also, connect with other people and get their feedback to build a road. But how many years in the future does that serve you? Now, sometimes, then there are holes in the road again in the future, and you got to keep fixing it. I would say, welcome to life. And not so that I initiate you to life, exactly how life works. You may have more years. You even may have more years than I have. But isn't that how life works? Am I not right on that? Right? So, you spend time and you put the effort also into the infrastructure. And your infrastructure is your energy and the channels into which the energy flows, and in what quality your energy flows into those channels. All of that we want to optimize. And so the quality of the energy that flows into those channels is also determined by 4 factors. And for me, I've spent, as I said, the last 10 years dipping my feet into all kinds of things, reading hundreds of books and going to all kinds of live events, to see, okay, what is being taught in personal development in the Western world. I've looked at indigenous cultures, plant medicines from the Pacific to South America, and many, many places. I did make a lot of effort to actually compile and to take a look at what's out there? What is actually there? From Indian yogis and the yogic philosophy and into traditional plant medicine here in the Amazon. And many, many things in between, hypnosis and all kinds of trainings and coaching. Psychotherapy, all different kinds of roads and rules of roads and traditions of psychotherapy. I did study a whole ton. So you are getting the benefit of the condensation of 10 years, of a decade of study. So you're getting this condensation of a decade of study on the human psyche, of full-time professionally studying the human psyche, You're getting the benefits of that through the conversations with me. The point that I'm making with that is, I've studied that a lot, and what I've found is that we tend to understand very well what to do, but then there are the what ifs, right? And this is what, on one hand, I really haven't found many good answers to be really, really frank with you. Usually it requires really a one-on-one conversation with somebody who knows, and I'm finding ways with, employees and AI in the future how we can facilitate that. Because, if you go to a seminar, you take a course, you read a book, you're always reading that from your own mind and where you are right now, and the book can't talk back to you. It can't say, it's well, you didn't pay attention to that. You, in your position, really need to pay attention to that and put the book aside, because there's nothing else later on coming that's more important for you personally, specifically right now than this point that you've just so casually skipped over. It can't do that yet. Potentially it will be, right? With artificial intelligence, we can personalize things in a tremendous level, in my opinion. I'm working on that actively, but also that is, it's going to be another decade of building, right? It's not going to be instant. And so the question that we really want to ask yourself for you as a business owner, are you somebody who has been successful in the past? And when the answer is yes, then you probably have all kinds of projects, many different projects with different partners that require your attention. And all of that have a good reason how they came to be, and all of that you have put blood, sweat and tears and thousands of hours, maybe tens of thousands of hours of work into these projects and into these businesses. Yet you perceive the calling by life to consolidate and concentrate, and you know that you should be focusing on one business and one business only. But on the other hand, then there's the what if, but what do I do? And that's what I specialize on. That's what I helped Jonathan and that's what I helped James achieve. And both of them have left me a tremendous LinkedIn testimonial because I really did spend the time with them to go through that. And it does take a little bit of time. These things are not instant, but they are very, very high leverage. What vehicle, what boat you're getting into, and then how you show up as a person of riding that wave, riding that boat, this is crucially important. That was very good. Negative feelings due to energy imbalances and conflicts keep him from feeling like his needs are met. Beliefs get in the way, he doesn't allow himself to feel it. What is self-sabotage? This is a great question. Self-sabotage usually means that there's a discrepancy between what we know we should be doing and then taking the actions in a way, but not taking them in the right quality or in the right quantity or stopping with that. And so usually what we need to take a look at on self-sabotage, and usually what we need to take a look at in self-sabotage is what's going to be what are going to be the psychological implications of the perceived outcome if you were to get to the end result where your daily actions are intending to leading you to. That was very complicated. Let me say this again. Let's unpack that. The emotional consequences of what it would mean for you and your life if you were to get there, if you were successful, if you were to get the outcome, what would be the emotional consequences and the emotional implications of that for you? Now, it can be just as simple as you don't know, because in the meantime, you may have to give up something that you believe is working or that gives you something in order to pursue something that you don't quite know whether this is going to work. Well, this comes with fear, and that requires faith. And so then self-sabotage usually means that we do things that prevent us from staying consistent with that course of action. What time are the calls today? There's a co-working session here as well. Yahoo, hey, yahoo, hey, yahoo, hey, yahoo. How does the calendar look? 11 a.m. Oh, that's perfect, man. That's perfect. Ah, man, that's great. Yeah, all right. So let's weigh the first bags. I want to be moving a little bit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was a great content session. 34 minutes. Look at how I'm looking. Look at how I'm presenting this type of information. And so if you are a business owner who says, okay, I do want to optimize myself in that certain way, but I haven't yet found a way. So if you are a business owner and you say, I want to optimize myself in that way, but you haven't quite found a way to do that successfully, I suggest that you take on a consultation or that you keep watching these videos, because here we are concerned with dealing with like real life problems, real life circumstances that may come up. real life problems, real life circumstances that might come up, that you might experience, right? Real life circumstances that might come up, that you might experience, right? Like real life circumstances that might come up, that you might experience in your life, and then what to do about it. Real life situations, real life circumstances of what it might mean and what might come up for you in your life as you're progressing. So right now, how to find the clarity of what to do as a business owners. Business owners, get clear on what to do with the AI age. Right? Business owners, clarify your project of what you're going to do in this AI digital age. Get clarity, because the vehicle that you're going to be putting your energy and attention into, for me personally, what I've decided is I'm going to focus on live seminars, but in combination with software. So I'm going to have my foot in the software game while delivering the main product live, online. And so I think this is a great combination, and it also helps me hedge against certain uncertainties, because I know that I always have an income through my software enhanced live seminar business. Plus, I really believe that there needs to be innovation in personal development. I think we need to get much better and much deeper on actual tracking progress of the people that come to the live seminars. Now, Tony Robbins is already starting with that, and I commend him tremendously and look up to him tremendously for that. But he has been approached by researchers who have tracked that. And so I think we got to do much, much more of that and think much more into these directions of how can I actually engineer my experience with people in the way, how can I actually engineer my experience with people in a way that they are happy and content with what we're doing, and so that they also see the progress in their own life. Okay, let's now choose some leaves and go into town. And then we're just going to make content based on that, speaking it through, making the content, making it better each and every time, each and every day, and start making more and better content. It's easy. It is so easy. All right, and Instagram as well. So let's choose some leaves and then we go Instagram. Hey, hey, ya, ya, ho, 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 hey, ya, ho, hey, ya, ho. The Clarity Coaching, Yahweh, es ist so leicht, es ist so leicht, es ist so easy. Ja, es ist so leicht, es ist so leicht, es ist so easy, Yahweh, Yahweh. Ja, es ist so leicht und easily achieved. Cleaning up my life, ja, hey, ja, ho.
Alles, was ich machen muss, ist eine Sprachnotiz mit meinem Handy aufnehmen und ich habe einen fertigen Post für LinkedIn, für Instagram oder sogar ein Transkript vorbereitet für ein YouTube-Video. Und so funktioniert's. Ich habe eine Idee für einen LinkedIn-Post. So, jetzt klicke ich einmal manuell auf Starten.
Hervorragend! Ich habe etwas sehr Ähnliches gebaut. Hervorragend! Ich habe etwas sehr Ähnliches gebaut. Punkt. Großartige Automatisierung. Mach weiter. Danke fürs Teilen.
Start normalerweise.
Cool. Sending stories, Instagram outreach. Oh, see! Now the views are picking up. Cool, let's manage more. Five years ago, I moved to Peru, and I always had since I was 12 years old, I always had a poster image of the Amazon rainforest. Since I was 12 years old, I always had a poster image of the Amazon rainforest with its flora and fauna in my room. Fauna. Five years ago, I moved to Peru, and 3 years ago, I bought a piece of land, period. You see here the hike to the property and the waterfalls that we cross, period. I'm putting that into my documents, Yahweh. This is me, I'm posting on IG daily, of course, daily. Daily, ik captions, ich hab genug von diesem Leben, ja, ho, es ist so leicht, ja, ja, ja. Hey, ja, hey, ja, 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 oh, ja, 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 oh, ja, ja. Hey, ja, hey, hey, way. Ja, es ist so leicht, ja, es ist so leicht, ja, es ist so leicht, ja, hey, yo. We're getting some clicks and some lead flow of people who are going to want to test my software and give me some reviews and some ascensions, some recensiones. It's going to be easy.
Community. For thousands of years, people have been living in communities, and right now there's a trend in marketing, and especially in digital marketing, that people seem to form communities around brands that they want to support, within companies as a company culture. As people go through hard times, they tend to come together and stick together once things get hard, because we understand that when we trade with each other, skills, unity, for thousands
I'm
of
posting
years,
it anyways.
living in communities, and right now there's a trend in marketing, and
I don't need to be perfect, but I am great.
communities around brands that they want to support, within companies,
But
as
I
a
am
company culture.
great.
As people go through hard times, they tend to come to marketing, and especially in digital marketing, the seem
People come together and form communities, period. I love to see this development, period. I have been living many years in isolation, shameful isolation, not understanding why my life wouldn't work and not being able to get out of myself and talk to people about it. I always thought I had to solve it all myself to be worth anything, period. These confusions have now subsided over the years, and I am a proponent of forming communities, period. Are you too? Question mark. I'm taking care of doing things properly. Hey, ahoy, ahoy.
that we get much further forward. So my question
Es ist so leicht und so easy, ahoy.
in communities, and right now there's a trend in marketing, and especially in digital marketing, that people seem to form communities around brands that they want to support, within companies as a company culture. As people go through hard times, communities, and right now there's a trend in to form communities around brands that they want to support, within companies as a company culture. As people go through hard times, they tend to
Cool. IG is scheduled. 10.4k views in the last days. I'm cutting up all of my old content over the next month. And it's easy. publishing everything that I've got. Alright, now we buy a scale and bag some bags. Es ist so leicht, es ist so leicht, so easy. Because I want to. Because I want to.